Hello guys, we are back with our next lecture. In this lecture, let us go through the next topic, that is a checksum, guys. So in the past few lectures, we are discussing various methodologies for error detection or error correction or error control, to be clear, right? Yes. So in the last lecture, we discussed about Hamming code. I think everyone now got a clear idea about how we work with Hamming code. So in this lecture, let us learn the concept with respect to checksum, guys. Okay. So as usual, I'll be taking the example and we'll be going to understand the concept of checksum also with the help of an example, guys. Okay. So assume that I want to send some numbers to my friend. So assume that it is a pin of something or pin of ATM card or something which is really private for me, and I want to send it correctly. So basically there are only few attempts for him to enter the data. If he enters wrongly, it will be an issue. So that is the reason why I am using the concept of error detection. So basically my goal, if there is any kind of error, like if some number has been changed, it should be detected. That's it. That's all I want. Okay. Yes. So checksum is one of the good method for it, guys. Okay. So what we do is, so let us take this example of numbers. Guys, this example I'm just taking some normal example for us to understand the logic of checksum. That's it. So in reality, it will not work in this way. Sorry, it will not take numbers as an example. It will work with binary and all those things. Okay. Yes. Okay. So in the checksum, what I will do is, I will send the data. Okay. So along with the data, I will send the sum of these elements. So it is nothing but 6 plus 12 plus 11 plus 7. Okay. So it is 36, right? Yes. Okay. So I will be sending this 36. So basically this is my message part, that is a K, and this is my redundancy part, that is R. In total it will carry n bits, right? Yes. So now you got an idea, right? So how exactly we have divided it? Okay. So if I send this exact message, will there be any advantage on the sender side, guys? So what he should do, once he receives it, he will separate this part, he will separate this part, he will add these numbers, he will find the result as 36, and he will compare this 36 with this 36. Isn't this process a bit lengthy, guys? Because I need to have an adder, I need to have a comparator between them also, right? So I need two steps. So first add them, then compare. So can I reduce it? So a simple trick here is, rather than sending the positive value, I will send the negative 26, guys. Sorry, negative 36 minus 36. So what is the advantage here? I will add all the terms. If I get a result 0, I received it correctly. If I did not receive 0, there is an error. Got it? Yes. So now it's quite interesting, right? Yes. So now we got minus 36, right? Yes. Okay. So now what we will do is, so even we are not satisfied with the concept of minus 36, but we need to represent it in binary, right? If we want to store it. Yes. So what we will do is, so I think everyone knows how to convert a normal number into ones complement or twos complement, right? You can use any complement method, guys. It might be ones or twos. So both will work. Okay. So for easy understanding, we'll be using ones complement, guys. Okay. So let us first start. So our number is 36, right? So I want to represent minus 36. So I will be taking this 36 part and let us write it down in the binary representation. It is a 1 0 0 1 0 0. I think everyone knows how to convert it, right? Yes. So if you are having any doubts, please watch in digital electronics the last few lectures, guys. So in last lectures I discussed how to convert these binary numbers from one to another and all those conversions, to be clear. Okay. So please watch it, guys. Okay. Yes. So now I have represented in binary, right? Yes. So once I represented in binary, what I will check is, so how many bits are my numbers, guys? So the maximum number in my number is a 12, right? Yes. To represent 12, a minimum of 4 bits will be enough, right? Yes. But if you observe here carefully, one of its number is 1, 2, 3, 4, around 6 bits. So which is lengthy, right? So that is the reason why I will shorten this code. How I will shorten is, I will remove this code. So basically, instead of taking them at the end, I will write it in this way. So basically, this is shortening it, guys. So I will write in this way. Got it? Yes. So I have shortened it up to 4 bits. So the extra bits you will write below in that way, right? Yes. So now let us add it. The result is a 0 1 1 0, right? So what is this value in binary, guys? It is nothing but a 2 power 0, 2 power 1, 2 power 2. It is a 4 plus a 2, that is a 6. So 6 is the number. Okay. So now what we shall do is, so let us find the complement of this, guys. That is nothing but the ones complement. So what is one complement? Just to shuffle the numbers. So instead of 0, write 1. Instead of 1, write 0. Instead of 1, write 0. Instead of 0, write 1. So this is the complement of this number. So what is this value, guys? It is nothing but a 9, right? Yes. So what I will do now is, I will transfer this data. So basically I will send it to my receiver that the data which I am sending is a 7, 11, 12, 0, 6, along with 6 I will send 9. Got it? Yes. So now what receiver will do is, receiver will add these all numbers. So start adding, guys. Okay, so it is a 30 plus, okay, so start adding it. Okay, so if you add it, so the final result which you will be getting is a 45, right? It is nothing but 36 plus 9, right? Yes. Okay, so we got 45. So what is the binary representation of 45? So it is a 1 0 double 1 0 1. Okay, so if you recall, we are converting it into 4 bits maximum, right? So the first 4 bits will be here, and this 1 0 I will write here. Okay, so what is the final result is nothing but all ones. So if you recall, we did ones complement, right? So let us do ones complement here also. So the final result is all zeros, means indirectly we got the correct value. So this is the exact concept of, okay, so this is the exact concept of checksum, guys. So it's a quite interesting method, right? Yes. So now let us go through what I have written in the book, guys. So the same concept I have written in step by step here. So to avoid comparisons, all we send is the sum of the negative number. So basically, instead of sending the positive 36, I will be sending minus 36. So the same concept is here. So 7, 11, 12, 0, 6. The sum is 36. And if I wrap it, so basically this concept is nothing but wrapping, guys. So 6-bit number, I wrapped into a 4-bit number. Got it? Yes. So I got 6 as a wrap number, and the complement of that wrap is a 9, right? Yes. So in the network, I will send 7, 12, 0, 7, 11, 12, 0, 6 and 9, right? Yes. Along with that, I will be sending the 9 value. Okay. So I will be receiving on the other side, I will sum them, and I will go through the reverse process. Okay. So at the end, I got all zeros. So basically, there is no error here. As everything I got 0. So change one number, guys. Instead of 6, take 5. So you will get some other value here. So with that understanding, you can say that the error has been occurred. Got it? Yes. So now you got an idea, right? So how exactly we are going to detect the error? Okay. So I hope everyone got a clear idea with respect to this checksum concept. So in the next lecture, we'll be discussing about cyclic redundancy check, guys. Okay. And if you ask me, among all the error control methods, which method got more questions? So the more questions, more numerical questions will depend on this cyclic redundancy check only. Okay. Yes. So I hope everyone got a clear idea with all the methods which you have discussed. So this is the last error control method, guys. Okay. Yes. So in the next lecture, we'll be discussing about a CRC. That is a cyclic redundancy check. Okay. Yes. So let us meet in the next lecture. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Like, share and subscribe for more awesome videos like this. Thank you.